Hi friends, today is a first impressions of the new NATASHA DENONA Hy-Glam Powder Foundation. I was excited when seeing this product launch because I do like NATASHA DENONA complexion products. I don't have a ton of them. I have mostly her eyeshadow palettes. But when I saw this in action on her IG reels when introducing the product, I was like, oh, that looks appealing. I also have been loving her concealer, which I was late to the game with. This released sometime last year and my eyes are watering. I am so sorry. I just filmed my April favorites, remove the makeup, and anytime I get close to my eyes and removing eyeshadow, it's a problem. As you can see, I promise I'm not sad. It's the pollen or whatever is making me tear up this way. I purchased the Hy-Glam powder foundation from Ulta in the shade NP10 because NP10 I thought was a pretty good match from the concealer all over my face, maybe not under the eyes. A little golden, but based on what the shades were before and after NP10, I thought this was the best match. It retails for $55, so it was on the higher end of the price range. 12.5 grams of product, and it is good for, or suggested for, 24 months on the shelf, and it is made in Italy. I love the box and the rose gold lettering. NP10 again, and I'll let you know what NP10 is in regards to what that actually means. NP10 is medium neutral, and I am neutral. As much as I wanted to be golden years ago, I discovered that I am super neutral. Here is the component. You have a soft feel material with the ND logo raised here on the lower corner. I believe you are able to switch these out. Yes, this is refillable, but I also love the rose gold lining here. It is magnetic, and when you open it, you'll get the mirror. Not only do you have the actual powder pan, but you have a lip here that contains the poof. This is a nice poof. Ooh, this is smooth. It's a velour poof. Here's the texture of the velour poof. You have a lip here with the ND logo on, and I believe this is refillable if I'm not mistaken. I could double check when reading about the product. And here you just have ventilation for the poof that sits underneath the compact here. Why don't we go on to Natasha's IG and hear what she has to say about this powder foundation, because I want to make sure that my expectations and her intentions are somewhat aligned, because I know I could get into what I feel like a product should be versus what it's doing actually, you know what I mean?
A 1-year anniversary of the Hy-Glam Concealer and Corrector launch. I am so excited to introduce you, finally, my brand new Hy-Glam powder foundation. This powder is so innovative. It's a crazy blurring flex tech hybrid powder.
Crazy blurring.
Look at the difference on this side of my face, how blurry and matte my skin looks versus this side. It is talc free, which is an amazing fact for a powder. It also leaves the skin feeling super nourished and also supports your skin's elasticity and hydrates it. It gives the softest velvety skin-like finish. It is a true hybrid, completely skin caring with full performance.
So here's the thing, if you are the first time viewing my channel, hi, I don't have a skincare routine as I just use water, Vaseline, and lye soap. You're like, are you kidding me? What's wrong with you? I'll get more into that when filming a dedicated skin sobering video, but now because I don't rely on skincare, I don't mind that makeup now has skincare ingredients, although I am fully aware they don't have the same impact in makeup as they would do standalone.
Sit tight for the Hy-Glam liquid foundation. I know you're waiting for that one. It is in the making and I won't disappoint you.
So we have the foundation, I guess a liquid foundation on the way. Isn't that exciting? But now that we've established the type of finish the Hy-Glam powder Hy-Glam powder foundation is designed to deliver, soft matte, okay, velvety, but not looking cakey or powdery. The blurring flex tech hybrid powder delivers a poreless, oil controlled, perfected second skin finish while caring for your skin. And 36 shades that I remember Natasha explaining that the shades themselves stretch through or over various skin tones between each. And I would assume that will place it in terms of coverage light to medium, since it is rather flexible across several skin tones. Let's try it, all right? And with that said, well, my eyes are still tearing. It's time for you to come in a little closer. That's enough. What should we do for prep? Now, her skin looked quite dewy ooey before she slapped on the powder foundation. I'm interested to know how it would perform. Well, I don't have her Hy-Glam serum. I gave that away. Darn it. You know what I want to do? I'll apply the essence on one side. Okay, we're just going to do one side with the essence because I've been loving the Divine Skin essence as my prep before any foundation step I take, and it'll be interesting to see how it performs underneath the Hy-Glam. Now on this side, I would love to go in with Dior Star Filter because I think this kinda is giving Hy-Glam serum vibes. Not exactly. Oh my god, sorry, the redness. Hello, eyes, can you please stay with me? Not quite the same, but I still feel at least behind a similar luminescence to it, right? Look at, oh my goodness, the Star Filter is just fantastic. Look at the difference in Star Filter. I mean, this is giving brightening and shine, but this is giving a little moisture, you know what I'm saying? We'll use the velour puff on one side and maybe use another brush, like a powder foundation brush from my Fude collection. Ooh, which one should we pick? Let's check out the shade, however. Again, NP10 medium neutral. Okay, that's looking good so far. Let's take this poof, and I'm pinching it so I have a better handle on. Oh, that's nice pickup. All right. Whoa, we're tapping. I'm not placing it under the eyes because this might be a little too deep for under the eyes, but fine for the rest of my face. And since I'm doing half, I want to make sure it gets on the actual half. I'm tapping, but I'm also sweeping. You know what I mean? That's not bad. I mean, you can see the difference in finish from this side to now the Star Filter side that obviously looks a little more brightening. But how about, ooh, what brush should I use? Let me see here. Sonia G's Sheer Buffer. But because it's flat top, okay, this is gonna give a beautiful buff finish to the skin that I think is hard to achieve with a velour puff. You know what I mean? But the Star Filter underneath just helps the powder foundation appear a little more luminous. I do prefer it with the brush. The velour puff is fun to use, but I do feel this brush just better works the product into the skin, in my opinion, and what I much rather would use tool-wise to apply this foundation. Now, in terms of skin match, I mean, dead on. My goodness. Let me back it up just so we can see how it pairs with the rest of my body. Undertone is neutral, but it doesn't appear dull. My skin complexion doesn't appear to have changed drastically, and it doesn't appear too light, which I was afraid of, right? Because sometimes with dead-on matches, you tend to run lighter once that product has been applied, but it's looking good. Choosing a smaller brush for these more precise regions here, like around the brows, down the nose, around the nostrils, and maybe pinpointing those blemishes. All right. I think it's time, however, to apply the concealer. And of course, I am going in with the Hy-Glam concealer in both N10 and R5. I like to mix them together because R5 by itself is quite bright and I think would be a little too contrasting against the powder foundation in NP10. But now pouncing on my concealer cocktail here just to see how the creamier texture blends with the powder texture. I'm sweeping a little bit here along the lids so they don't appear as discolored. Very nice. It pairs well with the powder foundation in terms of texture. It doesn't look cakey when blended, especially as it arrives here at the juncture between the high cheekbone area and the low under eye area. Looks smooth to me. I like how that looks. Now I want to move on to different cheek products that I can possibly use with this powder foundation. And what I'm thinking of immediately is Pat's Color Bomb Stick, because I surmise if this is applied on a powder product that it will appear a little more amplified from a color perspective and will have a little more holding power because it's being placed on a powder versus bare skin or something like a liquid foundation that hasn't completely set yet. Oh, that's pretty. I like how that looks. You still get a little luminosity from the finish because the Colourbalm stick naturally has that effect when placed on the skin because of its more dewy consistency. But I do like how when applied on the powder foundation that it appears perhaps more soft natural, but it just gives a natural beautiful highlight here on the cheekbone area. Ooh, that's nice. Now with the powder formula, however, we could try the Haus Labs Colorfuse. This is in the shade Fire Moon. And now my Hokuto, I believe this brush is from the Nagi series. I'm gonna whip it around. Perhaps the concern is when you start layering powder on powder, it will appear cakey and heavy, but it does not at all. It still looks lightweight, blends easily into the skin, and you have here more of a matte finish because you're applying powder on powder, but here you have more of a luminous dewy finish. Let's see how it does well with one of Danessa's velvet pomades. And for this, Chikuhodo T11, pulling in some Lovestruck, and I like to warm it up in order for the velvet pomade to just distribute evenly across the bristles, so when I begin to pounce, it doesn't appear splotchy. Okay, I like that. That's nice. Velvet pomade seems to be working well on the powder foundation we like. And I'm just doing both sides. I know Lovestruck is a reddish color, and pairing it with Fire Moon might be an interesting combination, but I think it's working out just fine. Why not? I could throw in some Desire, and I'm taking my Pat McGrath brush actually because it fits well into the velvet pomade pan size. Placing that center of the face closer towards the nose. This is what I did actually for my April favorites video, but I combined Sunkissed Seduction and LYS's Glow Blush stick in Focused instead of these combinations here. Now, why not use, hold on, I gotta find it, sorry. The Hy-Glam Glow Infused Beautifier. This you need, I feel, some zhuzh on the skin. If I were to apply this straight on what I have now on the cheeks, I don't think it would emulsify as well, which is why I think I have to use Sunkissed Seduction just to provide a little more of a cushion, of a more moisturized cushion for the cheekbones. Let me pick up my Pat McGrath brush. So much stuff on this desk. Placing it here higher to set up the skin, and then a more flat, like a flattier, fluffier brush I feel would be good. I could use my Tonsedo brush. Just pick up some of this Beautifier, placing it over Sunkissed Seduction. Whoa, all right, got it. The Beautifier, I still haven't found the right combination with this product because the way Natasha applies it on her models, I think she does it in a way like she has something on the skin first to, I think, grab the Beautifier in a smoother fashion. This side came out better than this side. Let me just kind of punch around. I think I picked up too much product. It dropped low and it didn't appear even. Okay, listen, the powder foundation is great. Just from a first impressions perspective, color match is sensational. The way it applied, I think on me, for my preference, much better with a brush. However, it is a compact on the go. You have the puff in here, and convenience if you just needed to touch up portions of your face that needed a little more help for in terms of holding power and whatever. But what I was looking forward towards in assessing was how well it played with my other cheek products, because ultimately I would be blushed out of my mind and would be applying multiple types of cheek products, Seduction stick kind creams and liquids of all sorts, velvet pomades. So the fact that we applied quite a few cheek products and types on top of the Hy-Glam powder foundation, and the powder foundation did not move, it does not appear uneven or splotchy, it still appears smooth. And despite how many products I applied, skin does not appear heavy. I think now what we just have to look towards is how well it stays on the skin, and that is something I will have to return with. And me wearing this to the gym, for instance, how well it wears against sweat and humidity. Too bad I didn't have this yesterday when it was hot. It was unseasonably hot, which, you know, happens in April. It's just a mixed bag of tricks this month. How would it fare against the little uptick in humidity that we had? How it would fare against sweat on the face? It would be interesting to pair this with the Danessa Skin Blurring Balm, because the Skin Blurring Balm is also, I would consider, a hybrid product, and I think they are alike in the combating of excess oil and sweat. So we shall see. I will have to do a standoff, have the Hy-Glam on one side and the Blurring Balm on the other, just to see how they fare well against the weather conditions, sweat, humidity, and all those types of things. Oh, the redness is kind of going down. Kind of, finally. Let's end just with a little more something here, because I think we just have to finish the look. And why not going with Fire Moon just through the eyes, because what a way to invite this just beautiful peachy color. Okay, you can't go wrong with the burnt peach. And then I can use the Beautifier. This has a sticker on it too. My goodness. Placing that on the lid. Well, the Beauty Balm Beautifier or something looks nice on the lid. Let me grab a little bit of black coffee along the lash line. I have some nerve getting anywhere near my lash line when I just had a gnarly reaction to taking makeup off, but I'm not planning to film anything after this, so I think we'll be okay. Blending that out. This eye always, why does one eye always turn out better than the other? Let me slap on some lashes and I'll be right back. Here are some close-ups again of the new NATASHA DENONA Hy-Glam Powder Foundation, and from a first impressions point of view, I like it. I'm not a huge wearer of powder foundation, so perhaps I'm not the greatest person to provide a solid perspective on this product in compared to others that are in the market. Like what comes to mind, the Shiseido powder foundation that I've used, the Suku powder foundation, the Skin Blurring Balm from Danessa. That's not quite a powder foundation, but I think I consider to be in the same category of complexion products. Just from an application standpoint, a shade match one, how it wears under the different cheek products I applied, I think it's great, because powder foundations are tough, right? They could look drying because it is a powder, but my skin appears smooth. It doesn't look heavy. It's not going to have the same luminous natural finish as a liquid foundation does, but I could only imagine that's what NATASHA is currently developing with the Hy-Glam liquid foundation. Perhaps that's going to steer it more natural in terms of the finish, since the powder foundation is giving us blurring, soft matte, and velvet skin. I'm getting velvet. 100%. And the fact that I applied a powder blush on top, a cream product on top as well, and they both look smooth. Okay, it doesn't appear like I have powder on powder, because you know how that goes sometimes, where it's clearly too much makeup on the cheeks and you're like, wait a minute, something went wrong there. This does not look like that whatsoever. Now, I do realize the next part of the assessment lives in how well this foundation wears over long hours, humid conditions, sweaty conditions, how long does it stay on the skin until it looks, I don't know, that's something I will have to look out for and observe. And of course, we have all of May to try this foundation out again throughout different circumstances and in environments. But I'm looking forward to using it more. And in my opinion, I like it applied with a brush better. You know, when you have the right tools, I'm not gonna use Sonia's buffer with a powder foundation. That's essentially why Sonia created the buffer to use with mineral makeup and other powder foundation types of products, so they could buff well into the skin but the brush not feel rough and it truly leave behind a buffed blurred finish on top. I most certainly would use my buffer with the foundation. I wouldn't use the velour puff. Now, I think this is great for touch-ups, but in general, I'm not a fan of sponges or products of this type because just look, it's dirty already and then it sits in the compact. I'm gonna wash this right now. After I'm done filming, we'll wash this, air dry it, and put it back in the compact. When I'm applying the foundation, I will use a brush instead, and I'll keep you updated if I choose to use another type of brush with the Hy-Glam. For now, I think this is going to be my go-to type of a brush when applying the powder foundation. I'm just looking around seeing if something else speaks to me. Well, the Najib Pro, this is the Kiyaki version, but the Najib Pro, if you have the actual Najib Pro in the pro handle design with the longer handle, the black to gradient design, that will be killer with this foundation because that brush will work the powder into the skin where it will just look buffed, smooth, and velvety. And if you insist on using a velour type of a tool, sure, but I would suggest you still go in with the buff afterwards. Whether or not is a powder foundation or you apply liquid foundation and then set it with powder, it is a good idea to buff when everything has been applied so you can lift off excess product and whatever is left behind remains smooth looking and silky on the skin. So that is my first impressions. In this moment, I am happy that I have this product. I think it's lovely. It looks beautiful on the skin. It was easy to apply. Shade match is on point, and it works well with my other favorite cheek products that I gushed over in my April favorites video. I will keep you updated, however, on how it wears throughout the day, as I would like to wear this more often. I know I haven't been wearing makeup as much because, again, of my skin sobering that I've been doing, but I'm happy to add in a few more days during the week just to try out the powder foundation, see how it wears on the skin, and also how it serves as like not a skin tint, but just something that you slap on the skin quickly, so it's giving you my skin but better vibes and not look as made up. And to achieve that, I think I would apply it on top of the Divine Skin or on top of the Dior filter. I think the Dior filter is a great prep for the powder foundation because, as you saw on this side, that luminosity from the SAR filter still showed through from underneath, especially on the cheekbone area. And the powder foundation was great with the Hy-Glam concealer. So those products are just, and then I can only imagine when she comes out with the foundation, and who knows if Natasha will then follow up after the liquid foundation with a pressed powder, like something that doesn't have as much color to it like the powder foundation does, but serves as a touch-up type of a product where you can apply the liquid foundation or what have you. So it'll be interesting to see where she takes the Hy-Glam, how far she takes the Hy-Glam concept within her complexion category. I'm excited because so far I've thoroughly enjoyed, with the exception of the Hy-Gen Beautifier, I still haven't found the right application method, the right cocktailing of products. Let me know down below what you've used with the Beautifier, because I'm not blaming the product, I'm blaming my approach. I think I'm missing a step, or I'm not fully understanding how well or how this product thrives. I haven't found the right through it yet. So if you want to share some of your tips down below, I'll be happy to try them. But let me know, friends, if you picked up the new Natasha Denona Hy-Glam Powder Foundation, what you think of it so far. I love it so far. We'll keep you updated and we'll see you down in those comments. Until then, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review tutorial, Natasha Denona, a product review, an update on the powder foundation, or maybe a full face of Natasha Denona. Stay tuned for that one. Take care, and I will see you again soon.